Hello, everybody. So I wanted to follow up on the 10 stock portfolio that I published last week. And so in this video, I'm providing the updated valuations per my spreadsheet for every one of these stocks. And I want to discuss a single catalyst for every one of these stocks. Obviously, these stocks have a lot of news, and you could find probably half a dozen of catalysts for every single one of these stocks. But since I hope to make this video a weekly video, I just want to highlight what are the best catalysts for all of these stocks right now. And so let me get started. So Tesla is getting expensive. We know the gross margin went down quite a bit. They reaffirmed the guidance at 50% revenue growth, which is great for a company like Tesla. But the stock is still expensive. There is, however, a catalyst that was not discussed much in the media, and this is an example of an article. 2023 Model S and Model X prices changed once again. Notice that when it is an increase in prices, you talk about a change in the title. When it is a decrease in prices, it's cuts prices, drops prices in the title. So to me, there is a built-in bias by a lot of the media. Whenever this is positive, whenever there is something positive about the dynamic prices, they call it a change, which is very interesting. But anyways, this is bullish. This is positive. They've started raising prices on Model S and Model X. As a reminder, Model S and Model X are the prices that they dropped before dropping Model 3 and Model Y. They're already raising Model S and X again. Does this tell us that within a few weeks they'll be raising again the prices of the Model 3 and the Model Y? Probably. It's dynamic pricing. Tesla has dynamic prices. It raises prices and drops prices, and this is a catalyst right now, but they've begun to raise prices again. The second stock that I follow on the channel is Enphase. I love Enphase. Enphase has not reported yet, but there is strong demand for their microinverters and their solar solution. I've been reading a lot, especially about that strong demand right now in Europe. The demand is still very, very strong. It's a worldwide company. Microinverters are the way to go for solar. I believe I've made multiple videos about why microinverters are better. Speaking of a catalyst of Enphase right now that I see is the implementation of NEM 3 in California, which has gone through. And so now that NEM 3 is through in California, that has created an incentive for people in California to get batteries and install batteries, because effectively NEM 3, which only is a policy that buys back your electricity at the wholesale prices, so the grid is going to buy back your electricity at 3 cents instead of, 25, 35 cents before, depending on your region in California. Now people have an incentive to save their own energy in their own battery. This is what NEM 3 is doing, and Enphase as a whole battery solution for home backup. So new incentives in California for a new product of Enphase. I think this is a catalyst over the long run. It will be very interesting to see how many batteries they sell now that batteries are profitable to set up. It's a big deal. Now let's talk about HIMSS. If you follow HIMSS, you know that I love HIMSS. HIMSS is a preventative healthcare company. They focus on recurring issues, often stigmatized issues, and they focus on treating these for their patients. They have two divisions, HIMSS and HERS. Very interesting company. I've covered it extensively on the channel. One of the catalysts that I see for HIMSS right now is there are upgrades coming, and there's been a few recent upgrades from analysts on HIMSS, and that's why the stock price has been up. The upgrades are coming. A lot of analysts are catching on to the opportunity that HIMSS is. HIMSS is still extremely undervalued, but if you remember a few weeks ago, that was a 0.1, and we're already 30% more expensive than we were a few weeks ago based on my spreadsheet. I believe that HIMSS is still a bargain, and the analysts switching their targets up, changing them up, is a bullish sign for a company like HIMSS. Let me move on to Datadog. Datadog, again, one of my favorite stocks in the data space. What I like about Datadog is their new product that they've released to look for vulnerabilities in production code and in a code that their customers have. And so what that means is that when you look for security vulnerabilities, you are de facto getting into the cybersecurity space, because detecting vulnerability in software is a way to protect for cybersecurity. So in a nutshell, Datadog is adding security capabilities to the product offering. Getting into application security for Datadog, I think, is a really smart move because security, cybersecurity, is mostly recession-proof. It's the last thing that people will cut, and I'm very happy to see this announcement about Datadog getting into security and prioritizing security issues in their monitoring app and in their monitoring platform. Moving on to CrowdStrike. What is a catalyst that I see from CrowdStrike? So as you know, CrowdStrike is my favorite play in the endpoint security sector and in the cybersecurity sector in general. I believe the stock is the most compelling over a long-term period. They've provided very long-term guidance. What's interesting for me for CrowdStrike as a catalyst, this is the third year that they are named as one of the Fortune's 100 best companies list. So CrowdStrike is getting a lot of external recognition from various stakeholders as to the fact that they operate as a great business and as a great company to own, a Fortune 100 best company for the third year in a row. CrowdStrike is a best-in-class company in its field, and surely these recognitions add up over time, and you know they make the stock more attractive to fund managers, but more attractive to employees as well. And this is a big external validation for CrowdStrike. It is one of the Fortune's best 100 companies for the third consecutive year. Then MercadoLibre. I love MercadoLibre. I believe that e-commerce is still growing very quickly, especially in Latin America. You know, Latin America could be a market of more than 600 million people when fully developed for a company like MercadoLibre. What I see as a catalyst, MercadoLibre, remember, most of the business of MELI is in Brazil, and Brazil is about to end a tax exemption on international orders, and this is specifically to end this exemption on orders up to $50 for Asian e-commerce giants. Think about companies like Wish.com or companies like C Limited that would be shipping products from Asia. And so this extension is ending, this exemption is ending, which means that now small orders from abroad, you're going to have to pay tax. And this is a big deal. This is going to push a lot of people to just buy locally on MercadoLibre instead of buying straight from China for shipping into Brazil. I believe this is an interesting catalyst, knowing that $50 concerns a lot of orders. You know, a lot of customer orders in Latin America are below that $50 mark. So this is something good for MercadoLibre. Now, another company that I love is StoneCo. And StoneCo, yet again, is a story of the market waking up to StoneCo. StoneCo is still doing well. StoneCo is the cheapest stock in my spreadsheet. They're still growing extremely fast. They're the Square of Brazil, in my view. They mostly deal with payments for small business, a little bit of a QuickBooks, but not too much. What I love about StoneCo is that there are analyst upgrades coming. And right now, the price target, for example, of Morgan Stanley was rated to $17 on StoneCo, which is why the stock has re-rated up recently. And there are also new macro forecasts for Brazil, which make Brazil an interesting play as they may get out of a recession before a lot of other nations around the world. Let's keep in mind that Brazil has stopped raising rates about 6 months ago, and there's a lot of pressure for rates to go down in Brazil for StoneCo. So the analysts upgrading the price target for StoneCo is a catalyst right now, in my view, for StoneCo. Now let me move on to Palantir. As you know, Palantir is an expensive company, but I do like Palantir because of their government business. I believe the government business is one of the main reasons why one would want to own Palantir. Its Foundry still has to be proven, but Gotham does not. Gotham and Apollo are leader in their field, and they're leader with government agencies and the military. And they've just expanded a partnership, a cloud partnership with Microsoft, no less than Microsoft, a major partner, to be able to provide better services to the government. And so this expansion of this partnership, strategic partnership with Microsoft, will allow Palantir to gain share with the government and the government products. And so this is overall bullish for Palantir. In my view, Microsoft is a serious partner for any company. It is the largest company in the world, Microsoft. Now, let's talk about Airbnb. One catalyst that I see for Airbnb is that you may know that Airbnb releases an update on its website, its platform, its app every summer and every winter. They release updates. One catalyst that I see for Airbnb is that the date of the 2023 summer release is coming up, and that should serve as a catalyst for the stock because they should introduce a lot of improvements to the products. That is a catalyst. It is something that they do every 6 months, and it's coming up, and I am also bullish about that for Airbnb. The last catalyst and the last company that I'll cover is Nubank. I think Nubank, again, this exposure to Brazil, exposure to Mexico, exposure to Argentina, the main neobank in Brazil. Nubank, I think, has a lot of going for it. It is growing extremely fast, great gross margin, inexpensive stock. And while a lot of fintechs are retreating, I think it's very bullish to see that Nubank is actually going on the offense. And they actually released a cryptocurrency loyalty program in March of 2023, which is a catalyst to me because what we know is that most of these programs were released in 2022, and a lot of the fintech companies in the US have moved away from these programs. On the contrary, Nubank is going forward and thinking forward and really seeing a forward-looking program right now to make their customers more loyal. And I do believe that this is an important update and a catalyst, as 70 million customers are going to be getting an initial airdrop through this program. So this was it for the 10 stocks with 10 catalysts that I see right now. I hope to update going forward this spreadsheet with more catalysts, and these stocks I intend to follow a little more closely. This is obviously not investment advice. This is just entertainment. I hope you like the entertainment and the catalysts that I provided. Please like, please subscribe. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching.